Thanks for watching Four Color Commentary. I'm Mark Allen. Hope nobody minds me being lazy today, but I'm gonna sit on my couch and go through some haul and stuff I picked up over the last last couple of months, and there'll be comics and action figures basically. So I'm gonna start with I went to as you all know, I'm a big fan of Ollie's. Went to Ollie's a while back and had to pick up one of their something I hadn't done before. Pick up one of their comic book super value 5 packs. Now I don't know which uh, which company started marketing these first, but you'll find these at Ollie's. You'll find these comic book super value 5 packs, which originally were marketed for $14.95 for 5 comics. So I'm thinking not that long ago that these were marketed. That's about right for a 5 pack. That's a bargain, nice a bargain price. 14. Hard to believe that $15, $3 a pop is a bargain price for five comics. But it is these days. When you consider the average comic, what goes $4 to $5 a piece, $5 to $6 a piece. I don't know. I don't buy enough new comics to know. But anyway, picked up this pack. Ollie's sells them for $5.99, $6. So less than half of that $14.95 value. So this one, the reason why I got it was obvious on the front. Thankfully, one of the covers showing was a Virgin variant. I think it was Batman Nightmares or Nightmare #1, but there was this very cool psychedelic or blacklight cover. Okay, and very cool with Batman being eaten by or about to be eaten by some giant nightmare image there. I loved the colors, I loved the composition, and I loved the fact that it was a Virgin variant. And then I was getting it and 4 other comics for $6. And so on the other side was a copy of X-Men, and I don't know the issue number. I'm familiar with the cover, but it's Escape from Avalon, X-Men with the cover with the Colossus escaping with Magneto, okay, and saving Magneto there. So what we're going to do, I want to cut this open and find out what those other 3 comics are. And this is going to be, I'm going to have to be really careful with this because there's no lip on this for you to get a hold of to open. I mean, there's no seam. There's a seam, but it's not. You'd think it was. There's nothing you can get hold of and peel, which makes it very tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna make sure that my blade is on the side of the comic I'm not really that concerned about. It'll go on the spinner rack, and unless there's something about it I don't know, and I don't think there is, and find some an access point for my knife. Tricky, tricky. By the way, if anyone has experience with these 5 pack comic 5 packs on how to open them, let me know. Probably not good to do it left-handed. Let's see. Okay, now I've started a little slit there. Been spending my Saturday morning. My wife and son are gone, and I've been spending my Saturday morning watching animated goodness. Watched the animated movie Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 2019. It had been a few years since I saw it, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and watch that. It's a fun ride. It really is. It's not classic Batman, but it's fun Batman. There's some classic Batman. Don't get me wrong. He's dark and brooding. Well, not so dark. His costume isn't that dark, but he does revert a bit to the more lighthearted side once or twice in the movie. In fact, he does at one point say "Cowabunga." All right, so and that's for some reason that's worth it. I plan after making this video to watch a few others. I'm going to watch something that I haven't watched in a few years. And if you don't have this, you really need it. Obviously, I got it. I got it at a vintage stock at the $7.99 on there because I bought it years ago. Watched it for some reason, got rid of it. I'll never get rid of it again. But Batman Gotham Knight has a lot of different versions of Gotham Knight. I'm planning. I think I'm going to do a short on this. Lots of different artist interpretations, animation styles, that kind of thing. So lots of great stuff. Just a fun ride, and I think I'm going to watch it again today after I'm done with this video, and probably do a short on it. But anyway, like I said, just enjoying this Saturday. It's almost not Saturday morning anymore. We got 15 minutes left in the morning, and then it'll be lunchtime. Okay, so I got this open. Let's take a look first. Close look at the. Oh, it's nice. Dawn of DC Night Terrors. That's what it was. Not Nightmare. Night Terrors. Here's the opposite side. Dawn of DC Night Terrors. Darkest Hour variant cover. Okay. Dawn of DC. I don't even know what Dawn of DC was. Let's see what the publication year. 2023. So 3 years ago. But there's that cover. Well, I love that. That was, to me, that was kind of worth the $6. I like variant covers. You know how I do. Let's see what the interiors look like. Like I say, since I'm comfortable, we're just going to take it slow. Who's the artist on this? Can't tell who the artist is, but it opens with Dead Man. Big old splash page there. Dead Man. Let's maybe on the back has the creative team perhaps. It looks like this is got a lot of the Dead Man in it and Batman. I'm not finding any creators. Oh, here we go. On the third or fourth page in. Written by Joshua Williamson, art by Giuseppe Camuncoli and Stefano Nessi. Okay, so anyway, here's a Stefano. I'm sure it's pronounced, not Stefano. That's my Oklahoma accent coming out. So there's a nice splash page of Batman being attacked. So anyway, interesting. Like I say, I bought it for the cover. I fully admit, bought this thing for the cover. There's a very cool exercise though in the lighter, brighter DC universe, and then boom, death and destruction. Wow, and demonic stuff going on there. All right, so anyway, there's that. Let's go ahead and get the X-Men. I don't know if this is a Jim Lee. X-Men number 43. Okay, so published in. I always have to do the publication year. I don't know why. To give you some reference, I guess. Ooh, this is not the best art. 1995. That's why it's not the best art. Okay, here's some of what's going on inside there. Okay. And nice. The Andy Kubert cover is, I'm guessing right off the bat, is the best thing about the book artistically. But so anyway, I know nothing about what was going on here. Almost looks like this guy's channeling his best Paul Smith when you look at like Cyclops and Anyway, all right, let's look at what the other three books were in here. Looks like we have a Harbinger. Oh, a Harbinger #1 from the $1 debut of Valiant when Valiant restarted. Okay, so Harbinger #1. That's cool. Now, Harbinger #1, and it has okay. You can tell these are books that are repackaged because and are older. This book is from 2014. It's actually got some. I don't. You probably won't translate on video, but it's got a little bit of browning on the white cover there. So this This thing was exposed to I don't know, some heat or too much air or something. What I don't get, here's Harbinger #1, and it says the best book on the market. Ain't it cool news? The best teen book on store shelves. Bloody disgusting. That's the website or whatever. Comic Book Resources says the best, could be called one of the best superhero comics. Multiversity Comics said dynamic, exciting, a real knockout. So all these, I guess they get, how many preview issues do they get? If it's just one, I don't know how you come to that conclusion from one comic, but it's interesting anyway. Good marketing, I suppose. Um, so 2014 book. Let's see who. I'm looking for creative chores. I can't find my. It is some very pretty, very fairly detailed art. Not unattractive art at all. Okay. Um, maybe in the back it has. Okay, Omega Rising Part 1 was the story. Writer Joshua Dysart, artist Carrie, Khari Evans. Okay, so Gary Evans. So anyway, there's okay. Oh, cool. Another Planet Death. I don't know if I have this version of Planet Death, but here's a Planet Death. I have a couple of different. This is some type of variant because I don't have that color of the cover. Kind of a brownish gold. I don't know. Not foil at all. I don't mean that, but that is a different version. Let's see what the indicia says. 2025 comic Planet Death #0, not one. I said one. I think Planet Zero or Planet Death #0. I'm gonna have to see. I'm gonna have to look this one up and see what variant it is. But I bought 2 copies of issue 0. I think I got issue 1, and then I just stopped getting it. I don't. I just I just let it go. The art is beautiful. The story was mid to me, but gorgeous art. And as far as the creative team, I always like to give credit where credit is due. Derek Kolstad and Robert Venditti are writers, and Thomas Giorello art. I'm gonna give a shout out to Thomas Giorello and his art. Some beautiful sci-fi workings in here. And eventually, I'm sure I'll go back and pick up bargain copies of the rest of the series as far as it gets. It was what was notable about this series is it was oh, there's a cool double page splash of a bunch of aliens. Alien horde. All right. Um, the writer, creator of this was the creator of some other was of some TV show or movie. I don't remember now, but like I said, just lots of eye candy, just beautiful stuff. And so, hey, I'll take another iteration of issue 0. That's fine with me. All right. Okay. So one more. Let's see what that one last comic is, and it is Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day #1. Eh. Okay. Um, I'm so over the Marvel big events and crossovers. Marvel and DC both need to get back to doing great characterization and stories, doing a single series and not crossing over with any other series. Guest appearance of another character here and there, sure, but focus on characterization and good stories and ongoing development of a character with plots and subplots that don't finish out for you know many issues or even a couple of years out, but do something to hook the reader and keep them on the hook and reel them in for a payoff every 8 to 10 months to a year. Okay. And get away from the big events. A big event should be like once every 5 years. That's me. That's what I think. So, anyway, I don't even know what Judgment Day was. Let's look at the creative team. Who was the creative team here? I'm not. See, and to be continued in the Hellfire Gala in the pages of Destiny of X. See, you start with Judgment Day, and I know it was a free comic book day, book. I get that, but again, that's just the norm these days for comics. You start the story in this series and then pick it up in this series and pick it up in half a dozen other series after that. Okay, looking for creative. This is not bad art. I don't know who does it yet, but it is nice to look at. Marvel does still produce some great art here and there. Uh, let me get stop getting ahead of myself. I'm trying. Let me find an indicia date. Is it indicia? Indicia? How do you pronounce that word? Somebody help me. 2022. 2022. Looking for creative. Looking for creative. Ooh, there's a cool double page splash. A face off image there. Um, let's see. Okay, well, my goodness, halfway through the book, that's where they give the creatives. Unless, let me see. Yeah, same story. Writer Kyron Gillen, artist Dustin Weaver. Okay, some of you, if any fans of what's going on in comics these days, um, you probably knew who that art style was. Okay, well then I guess it does start. Okay, a bloodline, a different that's a different story. Okay, that starts on the other page, and it gives in the middle of the book you have creative credits for the first story, and then the creative credits for the second story. So the creative credits for Bloodline is writer Danny Lore, artist Karen S. Darbo. Okay, and let me find some of the best representative of representative of art in here. Okay, there's some of Darbo's art. So again, not real familiar, not really sure I care to be. And then there's some more stuff. Well, did I miss some other creatives there? I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this book. um, there's another story back here with some more art, and I'm not even going to bother with finding creatives for it. But there's some. Okay, so not a bad, for uh, I still for me, these two books were worth the $6. Okay, so I'll take those. And that's what comics are about. It's about what they're worth to you, not about what's hot, not about what some trade publication says you should like, or even what some columnist says. These are the 5 or 10 or 15 or 50 best comics ever published, and if you don't love these, there's something wrong with you. Comics are about what you like. If you are a 45-year-old reader who likes kid comics, great, because there's something innocent and fun and sometimes wondrous about kid comics. If you like the grittier stuff, the street level stuff, the best of Daredevil was street level gritty stuff. Punisher, that kind of thing, great. It's about what you like. If you like straight superhero comics, like I do, and I always have, and I get zero apologies for that, and zero cares to give. Great. Comics, like any other interest, should be about what you like. Okay, so anyway, there's the pack I got from Ollie's. Man, 18 minutes on that. Okay, okay, that's all right. Um, okay, so then I went to uh last weekend, a week ago today, last Saturday. Take that tape off. Um, Whenever get a comic that I know I'm not going to resell, the tape automatically comes off. I don't keep tape on my comics. That's asking for heartache and heartbreak. Okay, so I went to Heroes and Wizards in Web City. All right, shout out to Wayne and Brenda, and picked up some Hulk. He had some great Bronze Age Hulk comics. This is one I actually never have owned. Um, Glennis, Glennis Wine, Glenn Wein. Glenn Wein was the colorist. Joe Staten or Staten, whichever one he actually penciled this. It wasn't Sal Buscema this time. Joe Staten did all of the penciling, and I guess inked it as well with Glenn Wein coloring. This is a Marv Wolfman writing job. This is one I've never owned before. And who doesn't like a good anniversary comic? The This is it, the spectacular 200th anniversary issue of the Incredible Hulk. Okay, never owned this one before, and from the looks of the cover, there's going to be a lot going on there. And I'm guessing from all the different villains and heroes present, it's going to have something to do with going into the Hulk's mind. And and of course, I kind of cheated because I'd already seen the front page. But there's okay. This is the Hulk with Banner's brain. I can tell that from the first word balloons. He says, "I'm about as ready as I'll ever be, Samson. Let's get this show on the road." Now, thankfully, I have issues 187 through 189, so I'll be able to catch the story and catch up with what's going on in here, and I'll read those first. But I love these Bronze Age Hulks. As I mentioned in a video or two ago, they're very formulaic, but they're just always so much fun. And the anniversary issues were always fun, and the annuals were always fun. Now, Joe Staten, I will say, he is for no longer than Sal had been on the book at this point. He came on issue 194. Staten is doing his best Sal Buscema here, if you ask me. And that's interesting. That's interesting because Sal had not yet, in my opinion, had not yet come to embody the Marvel style. To me, Sal became Mr. Marvel. Now that's me. I always want to be sure I state that that's my opinion. But I always loved, for me, Sal Buscema still to me, he just kind of embodies his style, kind of embodies the Marvel style for the Bronze Age. And I know a lot of people would disagree with that, but that's okay. Then you have a very cool Rich Buckler and John Romita Jr. cover. John Romita, not John Romita Jr. John Romita inking Rich Buckler. So very cool. So great book there. And then this is one that I had. The next three Hulk books are ones that I had as a kid, and I just needed to get them back in my collection. I'm doing a lot of, and I understand too from other collectors and other outlets. I'm not the only collector, longtime collector doing this, going back and getting books that you know made an impression on me as a young reader. This is the Incredible Hulk number 202, where Hulk has gone into the micro world and is you know defending and saving and safeguarding Jarella. Jarella, his love. The Hulk's one and only love, I believe. Jarella. I think Banner loved her as well. Came to love her, but this was Hulk's. This was Hulk's. She was the Hulk squeeze. Okay, he was her king. She was his queen. Um, and so love that cover. I don't know. I don't have cover credits, but I'm going to cheat very quickly. I should have made this say maybe I thought about making this a live stream. Incredible Hulk. But this is something you can watch while you're doing something else, okay? You don't have to, pay strict attention to me. Credits. Um John Buscema and John Romita Sr. I should have spotted that. That is a John Buscema, John Romita cover. And that's worth the price of admission right there. John Buscema pencils, John Romita inks. Some of you are already going, come on, Mark, you've been doing comics for this long and you couldn't have called that. I should have. I should have looked at that and called it. But beautiful cover. And it does have the Sal Buscema interiors, inked by Joe Staten. And see, what I love about these books, when I read it, when the books that you read, the comics you read as a young reader, and I'm talking, before 10 years old, those images make an impression. And seeing them again after decades, it's wow, it's amazing. I remember these scenes. I remember the Hulk fighting these big warthogs, these big razorbacks, whatever you want to call them, and just being wowed as a kid by this story. So anyway, and I have issue number 203 as well and following. So I was, like I said, with this comic, I was just feeling with these comics, I was filling some holes in my run of the Incredible Hulk Bronze Age stuff. All right, close that out because I'm going to have a couple of windows here I may use in a bit. And then another Hulk comic from my. There is a first appearance here that I'm going to share from my childhood as well. And oh, whatever day this is for you, I hope you're having a good day. I don't know if anyone will actually see this on a Saturday or not. This was a little rougher. Hulk issue number 207. This is Sal Buscema and Joe Staton interiors. Uh, Again, I'm not sure on the maybe a Rich Buckler cover. I'm not sure. I'm not going to look this one up. I'll let you do that. It's not Sal Buscema, but anyway, great opening splash page as Hulk gets ready to face off against the Defenders. Okay. Oh, a cool Bionic Man, $6 million man action figure ad on the inside front cover with Maskatron. Now, I never owned either one of those figures, but a good friend of mine, a childhood friend of mine, growing up, owned both. I remember being so jealous at what those figures could do and the gimmicks on them and stuff. But great, the best toys, the best toys, and every generation probably believes that in defense of all generations. But we had the best toys, I think. Anyway, some great Sal Buscema art, very action oriented, and I think I've discovered another inker that I really enjoy inking Sal's pencils in I just said his name, Joe Staton. But anyway, just great books, lots of fun. Like I said, the Hulk was very formulaic, but it was just fun. It was a fun read. All right, here's the first appearance. Then I'm going to get on to a magazine-sized book that I was thrilled to find. Um, okay, this is a copy of Incredible Hulk number 212. This is actually a RB. I'm not sure who that would be. EC Ernie Chua inked the cover. RB. I'm gonna give somebody a chance to say. Let's see if you can decide who drew that cover before I look it up. I'm gonna look it up, and I'm gonna. The RB is gonna be so obvious. I'm gonna go. I can't believe I didn't know that. Who that was? All right. Incredible Hulk. 212 credits. Um, hmm. All right, let me include in this cover credits. Huh, okay. Rich Buckler. Duh. Rich Buckler. See, now why would he sign his name Buckler on one cover and RB on the other? I don't get that. Anyway, first appearance of the Constrictor. That's the first appearance. And I had this years ago. I can remember literally this came out in 1977. I would have been 9 years old, and I can literally remember this was one of the comics I read in the classroom. Okay, don't remember if it was one that was taken from me or not. I had a lot of comics taken from me, and some I never got back. But Sal Buscema and Ernie Chan doing the artistic chores, and wonderful, wonderful stuff there. So I like having the. I always like the Constrictor. And I like having his first appearance. And there he is in all of his first panel glory. Okay. Yes, can't really say first panel glory because I haven't seen his tentacles yet. His lashes, whatever he calls them. Let's find him in battle with the Hulk, and well, we can find him. He's terrorizing Jim there. Okay. Anyway, and it looks like it might continue into another. Maybe not. Nope. Hulk beats him in this issue. So anyway, great stuff. Sal Buscema, Ernie Chua. Sometimes it was Ernie Chan. Wonderful artist in his own right. All right. This magazine sized book. Seems like about every other time I go to Heroes and Wizards in Web City, uh, and I'm always touring promoting them because I find so much great stuff there. I want to promote the store because it deserves promotion. But then again, I'm like, the more I promote it, the more other people might start going there and get the cool stuff that I want. You know how it is. You know the struggle. Um, but I was never a big. I like some of the humor mags, but I was never a faithful consumer of humor mags. But I'm familiar with first issues. When I first saw this in the box, I was like, wow. And in promotion of the store, and credit to Wayne, book had a meager $6 on it. When I saw it, I thought, no way, no way. But not being real familiar with um, the book and with humor books in general, while recognizing the cover of the first issue, I didn't know the subtleties of the first issue. Whereas here you have a number one. In the original number one, this was a 25-cent indication. So 25 cents right here. This is a 1994 reprint. However, it is an accurate, faithful reprint, even down to the ads. And I love reprints. Now, would have been great if it was an actual number one, but I never knew there was a reprint of the book. It's Cracked Collector's Edition number 97. Okay. And even down, like I said, even down to the ads, original, you know, the faithful reproduction. Got great talent, great writers, great artists in here, mostly artists. John Severin, Paul Reinman, Russ Heath, Joe Maneely, Bill Everett, Al Williamson, I mean, and more. So, I mean, great stuff. And you can't beat it. So I'll read it all and enjoy it. But I love for the historical value. I love these accurate reprints, and that was for $6. It was still a bargain. Okay, let me make that very clear. Okay, so there's the comic portion of the haul video. Next, over the summer, found some great figures. I like some of my favorite comic work that was done, and this will sound odd to other maybe to other fans of my age. I'm 58, but I loved some of the stuff done in the 90s. Now the 90s there was a lot of flotsam. There was a lot of trash produced in the 90s. I'll be the first to say. But there were also some great things done. And these figures remind me of the great things. The first one is Aztec. Found this Aztec figure. This is one of McFarlane's. In fact, this is a platinum edition. And I am going to take these out of the box. If you guys know me and my figures, these come out of the box. These get posed. These get played with. I'll just be honest. They get posed in differently in different times, rearranged, and that kind of thing. So this will come out of the box. Right now, though, my comic room is in a state of flux, and so I'm keeping them in the box for now. Okay, and and there always is that possibility that a boxed figure will start commanding ridiculous prices. I always know that those prices come down eventually. So if there's something I want more, flip it and get what you want more. But anyway, uh, Aztec, I was always a big fan of at the short-lived series. I think it was 10 issues. Aztec became a member of the JLA, the Justice League at the time, but he was actually created by Grant Morrison and who else was it? Grant Morrison and Mark Miller and with artist Stephen Grant. Okay, the art was okay. It was good. It fit the character and the story and the city. called Vanity. I don't know if they still use the City of Vanity in the DC universe or not, but great book there and great fun. So I kind of had to have him because he's a reminder of something that I loved in the '90s. Property. And here's another one. Speaking of '90s, here is the Jack Knight Starman. Now I was never a Starman fan, Golden Age or Silver Age, either one. But in the '90s, when the Jack Knight stuff started with Starman number zero, and I think that came out as a part of the 0 hour, miniseries and event. There's another event, but I loved this character. This character was great, and the character he was the son of Ted Knight, the original Starman. His brother had taken up the mantle with the red costume and the fin and the staff and everywhere, the rod, the cosmic rod and everything. And Jack just he poo pooed the whole superhero tradition of his family because he thought superheroes were ridiculous with them wearing their long underwear. And the red costume of Starman originally was one of the worst. But at the same time, when he would do that, he would kind of castigate his family's legacy. That hurt his father, it hurt his brother, and but when the mantle came to him, he did it his way. No superhero costume. I love the trench coat and the rod, the old rod instead of well the longer rod instead of the short cosmic rod. And so, but the art by it was another Harris. It wasn't Stephen Harris. Let's see. Um, was created by James Robinson and Tony Harris. Some of the most beautiful painted covers. And actually, here's an example of what a lot of the covers look like. And so great covers and great interior art. Harris was just so good. The writing was so good. And so anyway, very nostalgic for me. And I was loved the idea of just having that figure. And then finally, even though it was a big money grabbing event, it did have some great story concepts in it and character development in it. And I had to have this because it's Batman. This is the original Azrael Batman armor, and I'd been looking for this. I didn't even realize you could still find this in retail stores. I found this at a Walmart. I thought it had already. In fact, I don't know what year it originally came out, but it was at least a year ago, and I figured the opportunity to grab one was gone unless you went on eBay or something like that. I'm not finding a year. Trying to, or it may have been reissued. I don't know. All I know is saw it over a year ago, wanted it, couldn't get it, and now I have it. So that's just a darned fine looking figure there. So those three will be unboxed and on my shelf one day as I get everything rearranged the way I want to. Anyway, that's it. And this has been an extra long video for me, but I appreciate you watching. And if you haven't, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Especially comment because I like the comments. And for those of you who have watched all the way through, thank you. I appreciate that. For those of you who watched just a little bit, I'm also grateful for you. Otherwise, thanks for watching Four Color Commentary, and I'll see you next video.